Hello, everyone. Welcome to the UpScholar Project webinar workshop. We'll be starting in 5 minutes, so we're just kindly asking if everyone that's on right now can share the link, share the live, and then we'll be starting in 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak soon. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This webinar is being put on by Inedem through its UpScholar project. Now, for those who are not aware, Inedem stands for Inspire, Educate, and Empower. And our UpScholar project aims to assist individuals who are actively exploring ways to improve their potential success. So in this webinar, we have two amazing panelists that will be joining us today. They are Ahmed Wari and Solomon Ezike. The first panelist that will be coming up today is Ahmed Worry. So before he comes up, I'm going to just give you guys a brief little sum up about Ahmed. So there we go here. So Ahmed is a, sorry, I've lost my notes here. So Ahmed is a PhD candidate in the Faculty of Environmental Sciences and the Department of Climate Change and Food Security. He is also the recipient of the Stipendum Hungary Com, which is a scholarship that's given through the University of Szeged, Hungary. Szeged, Hungary. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome Ahmed onto the podium, and he will present his presentation. Thank you. Welcome, Ahmed.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone, wherever you are from around the world. Like she said, I'm Ahmed Ouri, and a Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship holder. I'm based in Budapest, Hungary, and I'm pursuing my postgraduate studies in climate change, environmental science, climate change, and food security. So firstly, I would like to say a big thank you to Inedem for this platform and for what you guys are doing. That's massive. And we're here to learn about some application tips in order to secure scholarships. And I'll be talking based on my experience because I have won different scholarships. This is my second fully funded scholarship. I did have one for my master's and now one for the PhD studies. And then I have also won a scholarship. I got a scholarship, a partial scholarship to study in the US. And then apart from formal education in terms of internship and other trainings, I also got one from the United Nations Institute of Training and Research at Geneva, Switzerland. That was last May. And I was part of their immersion program for May 2023. So now we go to the topic application tips on securing scholarships. The first thing I would like to say is that yes, it's possible for you to secure one or more scholarships. Like I said earlier, I'm speaking based on my experience. It's possible for you to secure one or more scholarships if you're well determined and you're well prepared. Preparation is everything. You need the faith, you need the belief that you will get the scholarship and then you prepare well. Now, like I said, preparation, early preparation. Um, there are two types of scholarship, two types of admissions. We have the fixed dates, and then we also have the rolling admission. For the fixed dates, this happens sometimes once in the calendar or twice in the academic year. Now, some schools in Europe, I shall be talking about schools in the UK, the Schengen countries, and also I'll delve a bit into the Australian research training program. That's the Australian scholarship. So, like I was saying, for the fixed admissions, you have some schools who do open their application portals, or the application process do take place twice in the calendar year. You have one for the summer intake and then another one for the winter intake. Well, some schools, not that many schools, also do have the spring semester intake. Now, mostly these application or these admissions, they run for 2 to 4 months. They run for 2 to 4 months from September till January, and then also um, from February. Some do also from February till May. Now the documentations, the document that you need, documentation, the document that you need for the application. Firstly, you need your school transcript. Excuse me, you need your school transcript. It does not have to be official transcript. It does not have to be official transcript. You need your school transcript and you need your school diploma. The school diploma is what we call, for example, in Sierra Leone, if you want to apply for undergraduate, you need your WAS or GCSE results. That's your high school diploma. And then if you want to pursue postgraduate studies, you need your undergraduate study. That's your bachelor, as we commonly say in Sierra Leone, degree. You need that. And like I said, it does not have to be official. It does not have to be an official school diploma. You also need a personal statement or statement of purpose and then motivation letter. I shall be discussing in length about all of these. And then you need your academic statement or the research proposal. That's for graduate application applicants for PhD and some master's program. And then you need your CV, your resume or CV. And for postgraduates, you need letters of recommendation, especially for PhD applicants. You need some schools, some programs. It depends also on the program that you'll be applying for. Some programs do ask for 2 letters of recommendation. Some ask for 3. And for these letters of recommendation, I think I have seen yeah, I think I've seen a program or a school in which they ask you to send in the letters of recommendation. Where in most schools they just give you a link. They ask you to fill in your 3 referees, people that you know will recommend you. You just fill in their details. That's their names, their position in the university, and also their email address. The email addresses. Some schools do only need recommendation letters from your previous university, from your previous institution, academic institution. Where in some schools do accept 1 or 2 recommendation letters from people that are not only from your academic institution, but also from professional institution. Probably you might have worked professionally, you might have gained some professional experience for some years. So some schools do ask for that. And then, of course, this is valid. I was discussing with a friend earlier today. We are discussing about Africa, Sierra Leone, and that most Sierra Leoneans do not know the importance of having a valid passport book. Most Sierra do not know the importance of having a valid passport book. I do assist people to apply for schools, and that has been one of the issue I keep having with most of them. Most of them, they probably will have all of the documents, and then you ask them for their passport. Oh, I don't have the passport now, and then it takes some time. So these are the documents you should make sure you have prepared. I'm going over them again. Your school transcript, your school diploma, that's your degree or your high school results, and then the personal statements, statement of purpose, motivation letters, academic statements, research proposal, and then resume or CV, and letters of recommendation, and of course a valid passport picture. I always recommend that it should be valid for at least a year. Um, we go to the personal statements. Like I said, I'm going to give a brief talk about these documents. I'll just make it brief. The personal statement. Now, the personal statement, it shows who you are. You are trying, when you're writing a personal statement, you are trying to, um, you tell the admission office who you are. You introduce yourself to them. You describe your background and also your experiences. You describe your background and your experiences. This letter is supposed to give an insight into your potential, how you will contribute to the school community, how you work as a team player, how what's your take on inclusivity. This letter is supposed to show all of that. It's supposed to give an insight, a deep insight. And also, it's supposed to share your experience in your professional or your academic. It's supposed to show your personal, your academic, and or professional experiences. How were you able to overcome challenges? Because we all go through challenges, be it in your school or probably your professional experience. How were you able to overcome this challenge? What did you do? What results did you get? These personal statements also, like I said earlier, it should show teamwork capability. Now, let don't forget, we're all humans. We all have flaws. We all do have weaknesses. They want to know you. That's why they ask you to write personal statements. Okay, this person um is applying for this position in our school. He or she is not the only person applying. What makes he or she unique? Why should we award this scholarship to this person? What is the uniqueness? What makes him different from the other applicants? So that's what you do. You make sure you indicate everything about you, your strength, your weaknesses. If you do have gaps in your academic or professional records, probably after taking your exam, maybe, or when you finish a particular course, you now decided to go into something else, or you worked for some time and then something came up, you make sure you explain everything well detailed. And then I would like to go now to the statements of purpose. Before saying anything about the statements of purpose, myself, I used to think statements of purpose and personal statements are the same. They are not the same. These are two different letters. The personal statements, like I say, it's a statement, it's a letter in which you try to showcase, you show them, you give them a brief description about yourself and why you're fit, your background and everything, and why you think you're best suited for the scholarship. Where in the past, the statements of purpose is more like a map. It's more like a map connecting your past experiences or and also your future academically or professional experiences. It shows your motivation. Why are you applying for this? How do you think you can contribute? That is what it does. When you are done, if you are fortunate to be awarded the scholarship, when you are done, what will you do with the knowledge that you've gained? That's what the statement of purpose shows. Make sure you always provide concrete examples of your goal. There is this, it's called Dr. Philip Barr that I used to follow on YouTube. He gives advices and also tips on doing a successful application. He usually say, make sure in your statement of purpose, you can come up with at least two examples of maybe a job that you think you will be interested in when you are done with your studies. He says this gives this let the people know that okay, this person is serious. He has already mapped out what he will do if he is being granted this opportunity. Now, we go to the CV. This is also very, very important. The CV is very, very important. Like I said, I would be talking on scholarship opportunities in the Schengen countries, and also Australia and the UK. Now, for the European Union, they have a fixed template. They have a fixed template for their CV, be it for academic purposes or professional purposes. They have a fixed template for their CVs. And for their CVs, they always ask you for a picture. You should have a headshot, professional headshot of yourself that should be attached to the CV. And I have also included the website, the sites where you just go there. They already have the template, and then you just input your details. Now, the CV. What does the CV do? I would also like to say this before writing your statement of purpose or your personal statement. Make sure you have drafted your CV, because having drafted the CV, it will be easier for you to just do your statement of purpose or personal statement. Now, the CV connects your past to your target degree. It connects your past to your target degree. We all know you start with your education, and then any other training you've had, if you've been a volunteer before or something like that. And like I said, you always work on your resume or your CV first, because it helps to fill in the gaps in your personal statement and or during interviews. And also, I have made this mistake. I've made this mistake. I've made this mistake. I have before I became fortunate to have gotten about 3 or 4 scholarships, both fully earned, both fully funded and partially funded. I think I did apply to probably about 40 or 50 different schools, 50 different program schools. And this is one of the mistakes I used to make. I was just sending the same CV or resume to different schools and different programs. No, that's a blunder. That's one of the worst mistakes you will make. Make sure each program you are applying to, you tailor your CV to what that school or program wants. You cannot be applying to, let's say, Poly. You are applying to the University of Melbourne, and then you're applying to pursue postgraduate studies in public health. You cannot use you want to pursue public health, and then the CV that you've used before to apply to apply to a program, let me say a program in let me just say nursing. Let me just say nursing, because these are two different programs. You cannot use the same. Make sure you tailor it. You go to the school website, you go to the program, just take it, do thorough research and try to find out what the school wants. One good thing about all of these, the schools, the programs, they always put in what they want. They always make it crystal clear what the program is about, the positions that are open, what they want. So make sure you tailor your CV according to the program that you will be applying to. And then an example of how the CV should be tailored. Of course, the first section should be your education. And this section, the education section, you are to indicate your major. Probably you've graduated with BSc in engineering. What was your major? If it was chemical engineering, make sure you put it there. If it was electrical engineering, if it was AI, make sure you indicate your major. And if you have done any research, make sure you indicate it there. Any research you've done, you indicate it, and you give brief description. You give brief description about the research, give brief description about your major, and also your thesis also. Give brief description about your thesis. And then if you are if you've attended any conferences, make sure you also give brief description. And if you already have an award or a scholarship, you also put it there. Okay, for my BSc, I got this award, Joe Biden's award for excellence grades or whatsoever. Make sure you put it there. And if you've also done volunteering, and talking about volunteering, I would like to advise us. I would like to advise everyone: make sure you don't joke with volunteering. It is very, very good. If, for instance, you are done with your undergraduate studies, if you're done with your undergraduate studies and then there's nothing you have to do now, make sure you volunteer for something. And when volunteering, don't just go and volunteer as okay. Ahmed has advised us to volunteer. Make sure you volunteer in your field. As long as you plan to pursue your studies in that field, make sure you volunteer. And then after the education section, you can now come to your professional experience. That's for those that have gained some professional experience. Make sure you put you indicate where you've worked, what program you worked on, what you just give some brief description. Because like I told you, the CV connects your past to your targeted degree. And it also demonstrates your impact and how you stand out from others. Mind you, some scholarship probably they just need like 10 people. They just need like 40, they need like 50. Although now we have these scholarships that really need a huge number of people. For example, the Stipendium Hongaricum, which yearly gives out about 4,500 scholarship. But to make sure, one thing you should know is that whenever you are applying for this public scholarships, whenever you are applying for them, know that thousands of people are applying. Thousands of people are applying. For instance, the Stipendium Hongaricum that I do have, the first time I applied for it, when I got it, about 65,000. They received about 65,000 application. And in Sierra Leone alone, they just had spots for 50 people. We were about 220 that applied. So these things they demonstrate your impact and how you stand out from the others. Okay, we go to the next slide, please. The academic statement. Okay, so the academic statement, it does this thing. It's supposed to show these things. It must describe the research questions that you are interested in. We call them hypotheses. It must describe them. And also, in your academic statement, you have to explain how this program will help your intellectual goals. Why you chose this program? How do you think this program will help your goals? Because they want to know that these people want to know that you're not just applying for the sake of applying. You are applying because this is important to you, and you have mapped you've mapped your future. So you know, okay, if I apply for public health, for a program in public health, let me say probably PhD or masters in public health, how will this program, this Masters in Public Health, impact? How will it help your goals, your intellectual goals? And then the academic statement also, you have to describe any training or research experience which makes you fit for the interested program. Now, most times, another most the question, this is one of the questions that I do have from people. Most people say, oh well, when I was in my undergraduate, when I was pursuing my undergraduate studies, I did not do any research. Even if you went for internship, that's research. Even internship, that's research. Any training, that's research. Just to make sure you highlight it and how it fits for that program that you're interested in. And also, when writing your academic statement, don't forget to identify the faculty members that you wish to work with. Don't forget to identify the faculty members that you wish to work with. The school knows that if you are applying for a research course, okay, you should be able to, even before they are giving you the scholarship or admitting you into the course, into the program, you should at least be able to do some research. And how will the first way, the very first way you prove to them that you are capable of doing some research is by researching about the program, researching about the school. That's the very first way you'll be able to prove to them that, okay, you have some research skills. Go deep. You see this program, you see this school, okay, you're interested, go deep, go deep, go deep. For me, what I do whenever I see a course, a program that I'm interested, this is what I've been doing. I make sure sometimes I spend a month or two. I could recall in 2020, 2021, in 2021, when I first knew about the stipendium, I saw the call for application a day or two before it opened. The call for the application process opened in November. It usually opens in November, and I think I did see the call for application on the 14th, and it opened on the 15th. And the application timeline was for 2 months. So I started doing research from the very first day that I saw the call for application. I think I did a research on the school and the program that I wanted to pursue. I did a research for a month before I finally sent in my application. I did a research for a month. So I was well conversant and I was sure that this is what I want to pursue. And I had already engaged some faculty members. So don't forget, make sure the academic statement, it describes the research questions you're interested in. It explains how this program will benefit your intellectual goals. It explains, it describes any training or research experience which makes you best for this program. And also you should identify the faculty members you wish to work with. The next slide, please.
Okay,
Cool.
sorry, before we go to the next slide, there's a question here in the group chat
Okay.
from Ali. Ali is wanting to know how should we apply online or prepare documents?
How should we, I think it,
How should we apply online and prepare documents to submit online?
oh, it's simple. It's simple. It's easy. The schools do have application portals. They have the application portals. They have the application portals wherein you just upload your documents. You create an account. You create an account. You have in your login details, and then all of the documents that they ask you for, that the admission committee asks you for, you make sure you upload all of them. And these documents the documentation, if you could just go back to the slides, the documentation slides, please. Documentation slides. Okay, yeah. You see this documentation, this document, some school, down a bit, please. Okay, thank you. Some schools, some programs might ask for more. They might ask for more. Some will ask for English proficiency, test scores, or letters. Now, one good thing about the West African countries, English is our official language. So nowadays, most schools, if you are from a West African country, or if your education was the official language in which you were being taught is English, and you were being taught for not less than 2 years, they waive this English proficiency test, the TOEFL, the IELTS, the different English proficiency test. So some schools ask for more, some others ask for the GMAT and the GRA. But in most cases nowadays, these test scores are waived. These test scores are waived. I hope I was able to answer this question. Okay, so can we go back to okay.
Thank you. Yes, yes. The question was answered. Thank you.
Okay, so can we go back to cold emails? I think I'm going to spend more time on this cold email because this is also very important. This is also very, very important, the cold emails. My advice, okay, my experience. It's like I'm going to give a story, my experience. Whenever I see a program that I have interest in, that I'm interested in, after doing my research, I make sure I do research. I spend okay for me now. I do know where to go. So I at first I used to probably doing my research. I would take like a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, maybe more than a month. But now I can do thorough research in 2 or 3 days. I can do thorough research. So what I do, even after doing the research, I make sure I do research on the faculty members. I make sure I do research on the course detail, everything about the course. And then what I also do, what I always do, this I always do it. Even last Sunday, I'm applying for someone, and then I saw this program that the person is interested in. After I've done the research, I did send an email to the admission committee. I did send an email to the admission committee. I also send emails to the admission committees because I might have missed something. And when I'm sending the email to them, I make sure I indicate this. I always send I'll send my transcript and my diploma and then my CV. That's what I always do. Transcript, diploma, CV. And for masters, I also send my thesis. That's what I always do. And then I will ask them for if they are funding, what are the funding opportunities for this course. And then I will ask them if the course, if I do need to provide the English proficiency test score, I make sure I tell them, okay, throughout my education, I've been taught using English language, and then I'm from Sierra Leone, where in the English language is the official language. I make sure I tell them all of that, and then I ask them for funding. I ask them everything. The admission committee now sends me a message. They send me an email. Probably things that I've missed. They'll now send me links to those to whatever I'm looking for. They now send me links. They now send me the links. And then this cold email also, after deciding that I want to pursue this program, after deciding I want to pursue this program, I now look for faculty members. When I say faculty members, let me just break it down a bit. Professors, the professors. I now look for professors whose research interest aligns with mine. That's what I do. I don't only stop at that. I make sure I look for professors whose whose research interest aligns with mine, and also they have funding. If the scholarship that I'm applying for is not a public scholarship, I make sure I look for professors with the same research interest and those that have fundings. Now, what do I do next? I'll just look at their publications, because they all do have publications or journals. I just look at their publications and journals, and then I probably the link will just take me to Google Scholar or SciHub or these different sites. And then I scroll, I look at the one that I'm interested in, and I try to paraphrase. I just try to read through, so so I will have some knowledge. I will have some knowledge about what this person is doing. And if I'm interested in it, I'll now write this cold email. I'll send this cold email. The cold emails are personalized emails to the professor, like I just said earlier, emphasizing on research alignment with funded projects. Because if you apply to a course, you send an email to a professor who does not have fund, and of course you don't have the money to pay for your studies, of the professor will just reject you. So I look for the one with funded project. And then the cold emails also, I write about specific grants or publications of their research, like I said earlier, the one that inspires me. Now I inform them of my intent. Okay, I am interested in this, I've seen this and it aligns with my interest. Okay, I want to apply for this position, and I would like you to supervise me. And I would like you to supervise me. That's what cold email is all about. That's what cold email is all about. Now you send this to the professor. If he or she is taking new is if he or she is taking new student, then of course, and if there are funds. But if there are no funds, or the person is no longer taking any student into his or her lab, then but that should not deter you. It should not deter you. What I do, now one thing we should know is that applying for scholarship is not some easy job. It's a whole job and it's not easy. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Most times I send cold emails to like 10 different professors. 10 different professors. I already have the templates. What I do, I just change. I just edit. I already have the template. I just edit. Okay. So I'm going to lay emphasis on this again. After doing your research, and then you've seen the faculty member that you think your interest aligns with, your research interest aligns with, make sure you send this email to them. Make sure you send the cold email to them. If they are interested, or if they do have an opening, they will gladly welcome you into their lab. Can we go to the next slides, please? Okay, I think this is what we all want to know. So the previous slides were just the preparation, I will say. How to secure fully funded scholarships. What I do. The first thing that I do, I make sure I target these scholarships with large number of awards. Like the one I do have, the Stipendium Mungaricum, they give yearly 4,500 awards. 4,500 awards. And where I'm from, Sierra Leone, it's still 50 slots. It's still 50 slots. Though I do hear that they're planning to increase it. It's still 50 slots, they're planning to increase it. So you target scholarships with large number of awards. Examples of these scholarships in Europe are the Erasmus Mundus. This is a joint scholarship, joint degree, like we say double degree, joint degree in which you can be studying in probably four different countries. You do, if it's if it's masters, you do one semester probably in France, and the other semester you can do it in the Netherlands, and the other semester you can do it maybe in the UK. The other semester you can do it in Hungary. You can do it in Hungary, and this is one of the biggest European scholarships. We also have the DAD, the DAAD, DAD. That's Germany's biggest scholarship or largest scholarship, in which every year they award about, I think, 30 or 40,000. Yeah, 20. I'll have to confirm that, but it's around 20,000 every year that they do award. In Germany, most of the schools you don't pay fees. 99% of them you don't pay fees. But then Germany is expensive. Germany is expensive, especially cities like Berlin, Munchen. These cities are very expensive. So you need if you're going to study, especially PhD, you most of their PhD courses are fully, it's like it's it's like an employment. So you go to the uni, you go to your school in the morning, and then from 8 probably till 5 p.m. Sometimes if you have some pressing issue in your lab or whatsoever, you'll be there maybe 6, 7 p.m. So you won't be able to work per se. You won't be able to work. And we have the DAD, which gives you have for Africans, there is a DAD EPOS, DRRD, and then hyphen capital EPOS, DAD EPOS. That's one of the largest or the biggest scholarship that they give. And this one, they give it to people that have gotten at least 2 years of professional experience. You should have had at least 2 years of professional experience. And also, because one of the criteria, one of the documents that you send to them is a recommendation letter from your office, either your current office or your previous office, that yes, you've worked there for at least 2 years. If it's your if you're still there and you're working, then they also ask that the office also inform them that, or gives them a guarantee that they will employ you again when you're done with your course. And then we have the stipendium Hungaricum, the award that I have. This one is given by the Hungarian government to countries that they have bilateral agreements with, bilateral ties with. And for Sierra Leone, like I said earlier, for now it's just 50 spots. They send it through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then it goes to the Ministry of Tertiary and Higher Education. Another pointer, another way, make sure you are a constant visitor to large specialized funding databases. For example, like the DAD website, there is this one called ResearchGate. That's more for PhD students. The ResearchGate, and then the Euraxis. This one covers the entire Europe. It covers the entire Europe. And also, after seeing the program that you're interested in, make sure you find the right supervisor, and make sure you find the right supervisor. And don't forget to strengthen your application. Don't forget to strengthen your application. As of now, I always tell people, if you know you want to start application in 2 or 3 months time, start now by getting your documents. We all know Sierra Leone, how it can be a bit challenging to get your document. It can be a bit challenging to get your documents from your university and everything from your university. So make sure you start early. Can we go to the next slide, please? Or are there questions? Because I think I'm almost done.
Yes, we have two questions in the chat. I was going to hold them until the end and then come back to them.
Okay. I think we're almost done, so I can answer the questions before,
Okay.
yeah, before the
Okay,
next.
so the first question is from Idrissa, and they're wondering if it's recommended to use live experiences or if you can kind of embellish your theme.
Always say the truth. Always, 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 always. You give them your life experiences. Give them your life experiences. I won't recommend you doing your application on a lie. It might have worked for others. I won't lie. It might have worked for others, but we're all different. Always give them life experiences. Always. And try as hard as you can to avoid gaps. But if it's beyond your control, make sure you state it in your personal statement why there are gaps. Why there are gaps. You might not know what they're looking for. You might not know what will be the pointer for them to award you the scholarship. So for me, I would say give life experiences. Any other question?
Yes, there's two other questions. The other one is from Alim, and they're wanting to know what makes you stand out. What makes an application stand out?
Oh, what makes the application stand out? Um, I think firstly, early preparation. Early preparation. One thing I have noticed about scholarships, most people do not submit all of their documents. The documentation is very important. So that can be an advantage. That can be an advantage. And secondly, everyone's story is unique and different. Everyone's story is unique and different. One thing about these people, most schools, even the Ivy League schools in the US, or okay, let me just concentrate in UK, in Europe. Most of these Ivy schools, they don't look at your okay, the grades, your CGPA is important, but that is not paramount. That's not paramount. They want to know you. They want to hear your story. For me, most times when I do my personal statement, I start with a story. I start with a story. And one good thing about Sierra Leone is that people know that we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot, and the economy and everything. So I could recall when I was applying for the stipendium for my master's, I gave them a story about food insecurity in Sierra Leone. I also I did write about the August 17 mudslide in Sierra Leone. That's on the environmental impact area. And then I did also write about I gave them the story about the cholera and these foodborne diseases, cholera, this Ebola. These are things that they also know about. That they also know about. So I always make sure I start with a story and then let them know why I'm applying for this course, how, when I'm done, what I plan on doing, how I want to come back, go back to Sierra, even if you don't want to, just go back to Sierra Leone and help help to, because they know that you alone will not be able to solve. That's another mistake that people say, oh, when I'm done, that they do. When I'm done, I want to go back and fix this or solve this. No, you just going to help. Probably you won't be able to solve it per se. You just mitigate. You just mitigate. So yeah, your story is unique. Everyone's story is unique. Your story is unique. Like I said, just be truthful and then you give them your story. And before going, I think I will. Is there another question?
Yes, sorry, I was waiting for you to
Let me
finish.
answer.
There's
Yes,
one
let me
other
answer that.
question. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for them to clarify, but I believe the question is in regards to when filling in your application and with in referencing. Jeremiah would like to know if you have to attach if the professors have to be attached to the university that you're applying to. So if you're getting a reference from a professor, do they have to be attached to the university you're applying
No,
to,
no,
or
no,
if it
no,
could just
no,
be?
no, 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 no. The university you are applying to, the professors don't know you. They don't know. Let's say, for instance, you are in Nigeria or you are in Sierra Leone or somewhere else, or Ghana, and you're applying to a school in Germany or Belgium or the Netherlands. These people don't know you. They don't know you. Recommendation letter entails this person saying things about your capability. What does the person know about you? Why he believes that you'll be a suitable fit for this position that you're applying for. You're applying to. So that's the recommendation letter. So you only get letters from the universities that you've been enrolled, where you pursued your previous studies, or where you are currently pursuing your studies. For instance, you can be in your final year, and then, because most of the scholarships, they do ask for, some do ask, not most, some do ask only for your transcripts when you're applying. And I think that is mostly done in the US, but my colleague will delve more into that. That is mostly done in the US. They only ask for your transcripts. And before enrollment, if you are being awarded scholarship, before enrollment, then you should present your diploma. You should present your diploma. So even if you're in your final year and you want to apply, you send a scholarship for summer next summer, and let's say you graduate this December, or you graduate in November or January, and before starting the program, you would have gotten your diploma with you, then you can ask your supervisors, and you can ask your professors. And another thing, when the people that you will meet someone that has supervised you, someone that knows your research capability, your ability, someone that knows your ability. I always, for me, I can give you an example. For the PhD, I did apply again to the same university, the same school. Unfortunately for me, my master's thesis supervisor is my current PhD supervisor. Is my current PhD supervisor. He already knows my ability. He already knows my research ability and everything. And if I was not applying to the same school, he would have been one of my recommenders. He would have been one of the professors that would ask for a recommendation letter. So make sure you talk with professors that you know, of course, people that knows your ability, and don't just meet any professor, just someone who you know will write good things about you. Because trust me, it matters. It does, it does, it does, it does. They have, for jobs, they have a name for it here. They call it referral. They call it referral also. Okay. Any other question? I hope it's clear. If it's not clear, the person can still ask for me to clarify any other doubt that he or she has.
Yes, I think that is clear. There's also a question in regards to explaining a bit more about the transcripts.
Asina.
Yes, they said to, if you can explain a bit more about the transcripts and
Okay,
referrals. Yeah.
the transcript is like your report card in high school or secondary school. It's like your report card. Um, you should have at least, I think, three. If you are currently pursuing your undergraduate, you should have at least 3 years transcripts with you that you should send. At least 3 years transcripts with you that you should send. And then if you are done with your masters, you're done with your masters and you want to pursue PhD, or you are currently in your masters and you want to pursue PhD, you should have at least two semesters transcript. It's like your report card. You just meet your admin assistant in your department, or your I think Afrobi College should be registrar. I can't recall. It's been probably close to 10 years now that I left Afrobi College, so I can't recall. I think registrar from where you will get your um your transcript, and it doesn't any transcript that you will be sending. It's an unofficial transcript. It's an unofficial transcript. Official transcripts are being sent from the school to, fortunately for Europe, they do not rely on these bodies like the West, which verifies your transcript and also calculates them according to their own CGPA, their own scale, their own grade point scale. So most for the European scholarships, you just send the unofficial, you upload the unofficial transcripts, and then when you get to, if you are fortunate to be awarded the scholarship, before you enroll, you produce the official documents to them. Any other question?
No, that's it for now. We can continue.
Okay. I would like to say this. I would like to say this. Nowadays we see people using these AIs like ChatGPT. I'm not against using ChatGPT, but you don't just copy from ChatGPT. I also use ChatGPT when I'm doing my essays. In fact, I have lots of writing tools that I pay for. I use monthly. I pay for ChatGPT, for Grammarly, for Jenny AI, for Quillbolt, lots and lots. I think I pay for up to 6 or 7. I subscribe to up to 6 or 7 writing tools. If I don't have any understanding, I don't have any knowledge on something that I want to do, or on an essay that I want to write, what I do, I just give ChatGPT prompts, and then ChatGPT now gives me some idea. But I don't just take from ChatGPT, copy, and then I paste. I don't just lift. I don't do that. Now, what I've gotten from ChatGPT, I I don't know if I could use the word meditate on it. I now use my own, like I told you, like I said earlier, use your story. I use my story. I now have an idea of what to do, and then spend some time writing. I spend some time writing. For if there are people who wish to pursue PhD and they have to write their research proposal, there is this app called Jenny AI. what it does, you'll be the one writing, but then it does um it does some citations for you. It does some citation for you. So don't just take from ChatGPT and then you just paste. Nah, that would be a disadvantage. Okay, so let me go now. The next slides, these are just links to some of the biggest scholarships in the UK, in the EU, UK, and Australia. The stipendium Mongaricum, that's the site to it. Apply.stipendiumongaricum.hu. And then the DAD EPOS, that's the one in Germany. That's also the link to it. And then the UXS. And then the University of Melbourne, the research training program. And I would advise, if there's anyone thinking of going to Australia, I would advise you to check this out. They currently have about 600 spaces. Yeah, they currently have about 600 spaces. So just imagine you go there. But I think the deadline should be in November, so it depends. And of course, for Sierra Leone, they waive the English test scores, the results. They waive them. They waive them. Yes. And then for Belgium, and if we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, just continuation. This is for, we have the Eiffel Excellence Scholarship. That is one of the biggest scholarship or the largest scholarship in France. And then some governments of Ireland scholarships. These are all links. And then for UK, we do have the Commonwealth. We have the Commonwealth, and we have the Chevening, and we should have the Rhodes. That one is given by, I think, Oxford University, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you for listening to me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
Thank you,
I hope I
Ahmed.
don't bore you guys. I hope I did not. I hope I did not.
Not at all. I think you've given a lot of tangible and useful information that I think everybody on this live will appreciate. So thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for the presentation.
Pleasure.
Somebody was asking about whether or not they can get a copy of the presentation, but we can look at that if you just, for those of us on the live, if you just look at the screen at the bottom, it says if you have any further questions, if you just send us an email there. So if you send an email through there, we can look at assisting you with that. But once again, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. And then, so now we will be welcoming our next presenter. Our next presenter on will be Solomon Ezeki. Now, before we have Solomon go on, I'm just going to give a brief little chat about Solomon. So, Solomon is a legal professional and he's also a PhD candidate. And so I'm going to let Solomon take over. And Solomon, thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Antonia. And thank you to Inedem for this great initiative and for all the great work you do. Um, I think Ahmed have done an excellent job. And can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we
so I
can.
think Ahmed have done an excellent job and covered the ground very well. It's made my work so easy for me that I might spend just I might spend just 10 minutes speaking. But one thing you shouldn't expect from me is a colorful PowerPoint presentation. Um, as lawyers, the only thing we care about is black and white. So my PowerPoint
Yes, and
might not be as
accurate
color,
information.
might not be as colorful as I met. I, I will try to amplify some of the things he said. And again, a little bit about me. I'm a lawyer and completing a PhD at University of Ottawa in Canada. Currently, I hold various scholarships. I hold the University of Ottawa Doctoral Admission Scholarship. the Faculty of Law Doctoral Admission Scholarship, the Graduate Scholarship in Environmental Law and Sustainability, and the Canada Graduate Scholarship Doctoral, which is the second highest scholarship available to PhD candidates in Canada that is being offered by the Canadian government. In the past, I also had several scholarships when I was in my master's. I did my master's in the US, and I had a full funded scholarship for that, plus a research assistant position. And then in previous years, I also had a scholarship from the Africa Arbitration Academy in London. So I'm here to share my experience. And like Ahmed highlighted, these are based on our experiences. And so let's get it started. If you could move to the next slide. So what I will try to do is to maybe highlight some opportunities that are available in Canada. So I'll be speaking on scholarship opportunities in the US and in Canada. Maybe I'll focus more on Canada, and because the US is a very big country. Again, Ahmed has highlighted research. You need to research. No one will do this work for you. For me, typically, my starting point is always to identify the schools, the universities that have expertise in my interested program. And I go there, read up what is available on the school website. But I understand also some people might want to prefer the help of some maybe platforms, right? There are a couple of them. There are lots of them actually out there. And then in Canada, we have what we call Scholarships Canada. The link is there. There's the iconic platform, and there's Getting. So what these websites do is they aggregate various scholarships across Canada and put them there so you can easily access them in one place. You might find them helpful if that is what works for you. Probably Inedem will find a way to share these links with you or the participants at the end of this. So you have to take your time to do that research. No one will do it for you. And secondly, before you start applying, you need to understand the eligibility criteria. Like, there are scholarship based on academic excellence, there are scholarship based on your financial need, community service. There are a whole lot of criteria. And again, the only way you can find about this is by doing your research and taking the steps necessary. Again, start early. Again, I made emphasize on this well, so I won't be labeled this. And I must add that most of what Ahmed said is actually applicable even if you're applying for scholarships in Canada and in the US. One thing why you should start early is because sometimes some of these scholarships are decided on a rolling basis. So as applications come in, they make a decision, right? Especially those scholarships that are tied to admission. Some admissions on a rolling basis, even though they put a deadline there, and you wait till the end of the deadline, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. So you have to start early. You have to prepare. I came across one data at one point that said that 90% of scholarship applications are received minutes to deadline. And what does that show you? The majority of persons applying for scholarship are unprepared, because if you have to wait till the last minute to submit, you're unprepared. So this gives you an advantage. If you could start early, prepare your documents, which Ahmed has highlighted, prepare them early enough, get your references early enough, you already have an advantage. Next slide, please. So consider that. Don't wait for dying minute. Don't wait for last minute. And if someone asks what is the tip for, maybe excellence scholarship application, these are the tips. Start early, research. And again, there are different types of scholarship you need to know. There is university-specific funding. And these are available internally in the various schools you're interested. What I intended to do initially was, probably go through these links to highlight some things to you. And these are links to some of the scholarship I've received in the past. But again, it's self-explanatory, right? When you get this link, go there. The first link is from the University of Ottawa, where I'm currently completing my PhD. And the second is the American University Washington College of Law, some of the scholarships. So they are pretty straightforward. When you go to the website of the schools, You will see the scholarships available. You will see the criteria. You will see the deadline. You need to pay close attention to deadlines. Then there are external scholarships, which could be national, it could be, provincial, at state level, and there are also third-party scholarships, right? I've highlighted some of this. In Canada, we have Vania Scholarship. Vania Scholarship is the highest scholarship available to PhD candidates in Canada. It's worth 150,000 Canadian dollars, and is highly competitive. And is available across field, no matter your field. If you're doing a PhD or intend to do a PhD in Canada, it's available to you. There's the Canada Graduate Scholarship for master students. There's the Canada Graduate Scholarship for doctoral students. There is the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada, and the other one has to do with engineering, and the other one is about health. So you need to look your field of study. In addition to looking at what is available generally on your school website, look at those specific opportunities that are out there. There are lots of them. I used to tell my friend there's a lot of free money in studying. It's hard work, but there's money in it if you know what you're doing. Then in Canada, in Ontario, Canada, we have the Ontario Graduate Scholarship that pays about 15,000 Canadian dollars per annum. Again, other states, other provinces in Canada and other states in the US have their equivalency. You just have to look for these scholarships. Next slide, please. You see how easy Ahmed has made it for me, so I'm just cruising. Again, when you have identified the scholarship opportunity, you need to take time to tailor your application. You need to make sure that your application documentation that has been extensively analyzed by Ahmed, they are aligned with the scholarship you're applying for. Yeah, you can reuse precedent, but try to tweak it to fit each opportunity. Don't just prepare one and be dumping it in all application you're doing. It could be a sign of unpreparedness. Again, if research proposal is applicable, you need to prepare a detailed, again, follow the guidelines, right? Some scholarship opportunity will tell you, oh, we need 2 pages, we need 5 pages. Just follow the specifications in each of these applications. Again, strong statement, whether it's a statement of intent, statement of purpose, statement of motivation, make it strong. Again, Ahmed graciously highlighted the various things you should consider when writing this. And for me, one thing that has been very important to me is I seek feedback. Even when I'm sending a cold email, I seek feedback. I have a community of friends I run them with. I say, hey, can you take a look at this for me? You never can tell the perspective you will get. So don't sit down and do it and think it's perfect. No. Talk to your friends. Talk to your mentors. Talk to your colleagues. Send your materials. And this is why you have to start early, because you can't be sending someone materials that are for application that is due in 24 hours. Be expecting maybe a serious feedback. So we need to seek feedback from mentors. Seek feedback is very helpful. Like I'm not sure I submit anything without talking to my friends to take a look at what I'm doing. Okay, let's keep rolling. Yeah, and again, all through your application, whether it's in your CV, whether it's in your statement, whether it's your research proposal, highlights things that matter. Highlight the things that the components that the scholarship criteria is looking at. Highlight your academic excellence, highlight your work, publications, work experience. If you've been involved in leadership involvement, you've been involved in volunteer, you need to also highlight all of this. Beyond your grades, actually, beyond your academic excellence, they also want to see you. They want to know you for who you are, and they want to see the value you're bringing to their community. And in each of the applications I've submitted in the past, I pay close attention to all of this. Even if the application doesn't require this, I try to find a way to sneak them in, right? You have to find a way to stand out. Some of these scholarships are highly subscribed. For instance, the Canada Graduate Scholarship that I got for 2023 to 2024. And this is just for doctoral students. Received over 2,300 applications just for PhD students in Canada across field. And they awarded about 800 or 900 out of that, right? So you just have to find a way to be very competitive, find a way to be outstanding, and find a way to make sure that you don't just labor for some. You don't just submit application for submitting sake. No. Submit application with the expectation that you want to get this scholarship, right? And of course, sometimes really you've done your best and you don't get you don't even get the admission, you don't get the scholarship. Is a learning opportunity. That is where I see it. And I'll give a practical example about that. Sometimes you do all you have to do, but the opportunity doesn't come to you. In 2019, when I was trying to go for my master's, I applied to the University of Ottawa for master's in law. They declined my application. They didn't give me my application. 2 years later, I've gotten my master's. I applied for a PhD, and I got the admission with general scholarships. Right? Sometimes timing can be a factor as well, right? Just do your best at each given time and leave the rest to God. Okay, don't limit yourself. Yeah, and this has also been touched on. Apply to multiple scholarships. It's hard work. But if you want it, you have to do it. Don't concentrate. Sometimes you have cluster of scholarships here and there, 5,000 here, 10,000 here, 2,000 here. Just look for them and apply. Sometimes they make the large chunk of money you're looking for. And also consider teaching assistant, research assistant positions. Some of them pay. Like when I was in my master's, I got a full tuition award for my school fees. That was 55,000 USD for my tuition. But cost of living, I had to get a teaching assistant position that actually covered my cost of living through that program. So, and that was after I'd actually started my program. And what did I do? I was talking to my professors. Hey, do you have opportunity? Talking to friends, and suddenly one day, one of my professors emailed me, "Hey, Solomon, I'm looking for a research assistant for this kind of work. Are you interested?" I said yes, and I got that. So, even when you start your schooling, when you start your scholarships, you keep searching, keep looking for. Scholarships are never enough. Money is never enough. Okay, next slide. Reference letters, they matter a lot. Don't think they don't. They matter a lot. Of course, I doubt that you want to choose a referee that will write something negative on your behalf. No. So you need to get people that are familiar with your work, with your academic achievements, with your research potential, right? Again, depending on what the application requires. Some people require work reference. They're okay with work reference. Some will strictly require academic reference. Whatever they require, make sure you talk to people that know. What I do is I send all my materials to whoever agrees to provide a reference to me. I send them. In fact, I send them the scholarship requirement. I send them my CV, my statements, everything I'm ever submitting. I send it to them, and it helps them to know how to tailor the reference for you. Give them sufficient time. They are very busy persons. They can be, maybe sometimes they are your boss at work. They are your former lecturers, former professors, or current professors. Give them ample time. It's hard work to do, and I'm not telling you that I'm always on time, but it is a good practice to be on time. So reference letters are something you must pay close importance, close attention to, and give it all it takes. Sometimes the deciding factor will be the quality of your reference letters, actually. And I think I still have 1 or 2 slides left. Yes, so this is after you've gotten your scholarships. And again, also this boils down to understanding the terms of your scholarship. What are those terms? What are those things you need to do to maintain your scholarship? for me, one of my scholarships, I need to provide a progress report every 6 months. If you don't do that, they're going to revoke your scholarship. So you have to pay attention. After you've gotten your scholarship, what am I required to do? Some scholarship will require you to maintain certain level of academic excellence, certain level of GPA, and pay attention to that so you don't lose your scholarship. Some people lose scholarships because they didn't keep to the terms of the scholarship. Some scholarship, we have some restrictions on them. Pay close attention, stay competitive all through your studies, whether graduate or undergraduate. Am I moving too fast? Okay, next slide.
You're good. You're good.
Oh, good? Okay. I'm
Yeah.
trying to, like I said, Ahmed did excellent job, so it made it easy for me. Yes, network. I've been stay informed. Like I said, when I talked about getting my research assistant position during my masters in the US, it was through talking to people, it was through talking to professors, it was through networking. Don't be an island. Network with your colleagues, your faculty, and everyone. Then keep track of scholarship deadlines and updates. And again, like I say, you might be required to file maybe progress reports. Some scholarship might even want you to write papers, one paper a year, and go to conferences. Whatever it is, pay attention to it and make sure that you keep to the terms of the scholarship. And I think I'll move to the last slide. So these are links to scholarship opportunities in Canada. These are not school based, these are either federal government or federal agencies in Canada that award these scholarships. And they are very competitive scholarships and very rewarding scholarships. Um, I was thinking we could have time to share one of them, but again, Inedem might find a way to share these links with you. And you can take a look at them yourself. And I've come to the end of it.
Okay.
If you have any questions, let's have them.
Thank you very, very much, Solomon. Right now, the chat was mainly filled with questions about how they can get a copy of these slides. So I have informed everybody that's on the live right now that if you send an email to us at info@inedem.org, we can provide you a copy of the slides. I'm going to bring Ahmed back up as well, just so that we can say thank you. Thank you very much to both of these gentlemen for joining us, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and information about the different scholarships that that we can apply for. And I'm sure everybody that has joined this live is grateful for your wealth of information that you've provided. So we just want to say a big thank you to you both. And then also, if there's any further questions in the chat, for those who are still on live, if you want to put any further questions in the chat while we have Solomon and Ahmed on right now, please go ahead and do so. In the meantime, if there's anything that you guys would like to quickly revisit or just touch up on again before we close, that would be great.
I would like to say thank you to you, Antonia, and also Solomon. Can I also get a copy of Solomon's slides? I would like to move to the US or Canada.
You're welcome.
We can get it to you.
We need your expertise here.
Your presentation was well detailed. It was well detailed. I think I saw someone asking about transcripts again, official transcripts or something like that. And I wanted to just throw a stone. The unofficial transcripts, like I said, it is the one that you submit. You yourself, you submit. That's the unofficial transcript. Any transcript from you is unofficial. It's not from the school. It's not from the school. So the one you get from the school and then you yourself submit, that the unofficial transcript. The official transcripts can be one that the school sends, or if you're fortunate to be awarded the scholarship, if you're fortunate to be awarded the scholarship, and then before enrollment into your program, you provide the transcript with the official seal, the stamp and signature of your previous university. So I hope that one answered the question. I think it was Alim Kanu that asked that question, I can't recall.
Yes, yes, it was.
And just like Solomon said, no one is an island. I'm going to lay emphasis on early preparation, start early, and also know that no one is an island. When you have all of the documents, when you have all of the documents, and you have done your research, you can apply to as many scholarships that you want. Don't just apply to this one and say, okay, I will have it. No, apply to as many as you can. Apply to as many as you can. Apply to as many as you can. And for us in the EU, we don't have the, because I know that the US and Canada, they do have these priority dates. Like Solomon said earlier, they have the priority dates. For if you wish to apply to the US or Canada, these priority dates, they have dates in which when you apply, if you apply before that deadline, you are automatically considered for the scholarship. But if you apply after that deadline, the application process might still be on.
Yeah.
But then if you've missed the priority date, you apply after the priority date, then your chances for securing the scholarship will be really slim. Will be really slim.
There's one other question that has just popped into the chat. So, Idrissa was wondering if there's a waiver for applicants applying in Canada as well, the English proficiency waiver that they provide for Europe, if they
Uh,
provide that as well.
yeah. Again, it's school based, right? Well, as far as I know, most schools in Canada waive English requirement for students from Nigeria. As far as I
Yes.
know, most schools here do waive that because we obtained our degree in English language. Um, you know. But check if you're interested in a particular school, check their English requirement uh, criteria and the exemptions that they have there.
Okay. And then I had a question for both of you, actually. So, for applicants who don't have a very diverse educational and voluntary experience background, how can they improve on that when they want to apply? So if they're wanting to apply within, say, the next application period, how can they improve that? Where can they search for volunteering experience and things like that?
Well, for volunteering, I think there are opportunities all around us, right? It doesn't have to be something exceptional. It doesn't have to be something too grand. Just look for opportunity and volunteer. And again, is how you highlight this. Like my friend we say, how you package this that matters, right? So just get opportunity to highlight. And if you've not been writing, start writing. You don't have to. You might not need to even publish in a peer-reviewed journal, right? Publish on your LinkedIn. Publish. There are some free platform like what are they again? There are lots of them where you can put out, create a profile, put your articles there. Just write. You might not have peer-reviewed articles now, but just write blog posts, all of that. Put them as your publication, right? For now. And again, these are how you build all of these things, right? Maybe Ahmed might have a better answer than me.
No, that was great. But Ahmed,
So
you can add a bit more.
yeah, I think you almost said everything. Um, one. one thing that Africans per se we don't seem to most people seem to shy away from is volunteering to teach. Volunteering to teach, especially for postgraduate. Um, you will be because even when you apply for the scholarship for postgraduate for PhD, let me say for PhD, and it's like you will be working and they're paying you the stipend. And the work that you'll be doing, that's we have something, they have things that we call the teaching assistants. I saw Solomon, I saw it, I think just the acronym, the TA, you have the teaching assistants, and then also you do have the graduate research, yeah, assistant. So, and even teaching can also be your research and training. You volunteer, you volunteer. Make sure you volunteer. You can go to schools, you just volunteer. And what I've observed, they tend to give, especially for the US and Canada, they tend to give these scholarships to people that already taught, because these scholarships are research based, and they know that if you've been a teacher, if probably you taught, even if it's just for a year, they know that you must have done research, you prepare yourself well to teach the kids or the students or the pupils. So don't forget teaching, teaching. And I would like to say this. I'm talking because I think I have experience with Sierra Leoneans, though I have helped other nationalities to gain scholarship, but more with Sierra Leoneans. People seems to be they just have this mindset that is fixed on securing scholarships to the US or Canada. If it's not US, Canada, or Germany or Belgium, they don't want. Okay, US, Canada, Germany, Australia, Belgium, and Switzerland, they don't want. Now you guys are missing on lots and lots of other opportunities. There are other countries like other European countries like the Czech Republic, like yeah, Czech Republic, other countries. These countries they have very good scholarship. Very good scholarship. You can go there, you study, you have lots and lots of opportunities. So don't just have this fixed mindset that, oh, I only want to go to the US. It's fine. That's your goal and everything. That's your goal and everything. It's fine. But just like Solomon said in his presentation, after you have applied for one, don't think you've already gotten it. Make sure you apply to different scholarship. So don't just say, okay, it's just Canada. Make sure you apply to different countries. Make sure you apply to different countries. It's better you study out in the Western world. We know our countries. Strike, the lecturer striking. That's part of the curriculum. Lecturers striking. That's part of the curriculum. So it's better you study in the Western world than back home. It should not only be UK, Canada, Germany, Switzerland, and which other country again? Belgium, because these are the countries they always ask me about. Germany, Canada, Switzerland, US, and Belgium. Take a look at the Czech Republic. They have one of the largest. Hungary. Now I see a lot of people wanting to come to Hungary. Now I see a lot of people wanting to come to Hungary. So I think I will end here for now.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And for those who are wanting copies of the slides, as I mentioned before, please get in touch with us directly. Send an email to info@inedem.org. And yeah, that is it for now. Thank you so much for joining. I think we're going to close the session and close the live. And is there any place that anybody in the group can reach you at? Maybe we can share that on our platforms or in the group chat if you have an email, if anybody in the live wants to get in touch directly.
I'm on LinkedIn, right? With my name, Solomon Ogochukwu on LinkedIn. I will type it in the chat.
Yes.
Anyone can reach me using that.
Okay. Okay, if we put it in the chat, I'll pin it. And also this webinar is recorded, so it'll be posted on our streaming platforms. So everybody that is here, if you'd like to share it with somebody who would like to find out more information about, scholarship applications and how to improve your viability, you'll be able to access those as well on our platforms. Okay, well, I guess that is it for now. I will give you both a clapping information again. Thank you so much. And that is it for signing out. Let's end the stream.